So I want to take some time to talk about asana practice. Asana practice, the movements that we see in yoga, the stretching. And this is how a lot of us make our way into the yoga world. I mean, it's pretty natural in the West to, go to a yoga studio, find a yoga class, and get into the movement side. But the issue I have is that's where many, many, many people stop. So why are you stopping there? If we look at the actual practices of yoga, asana, the physical movement, is one tiny little piece of a much, much larger picture. If we look at Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, he talks about these 8 limbs in yoga, Ashtanga, it's called. And asana is one of the 8 limbs. And really, there's not much mention of asana in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. There's very little of it in the Bhagavad Gita. If you look at even texts like the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is Hatha Yoga, which is the movement side, there's really only I think 15 different poses that are discussed in that. And at the very beginning of that book, they talk about how this is really just a preparation for Raja Yoga, which is Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So really, asana should help us feel good in our bodies. This is important, right? Because we want to be healthy. We don't want our bodies to be achy and sore and out of shape and a distraction to our practice. What is our practice? Our practice is our meditation practice. This is the purpose of asana in the 8 limbs of yoga. So if you are only doing asana, you really need to ask yourself, why are you stopping there? What is it that's keeping you from going further? And why are you doing yoga? If it's just the physical, fine. But if you really want to be a yogi, you need to understand what comes next and really investigate that. And some people, they don't think that their minds are suited for meditation, that they just can't quiet their minds, right? And to me, this is just a lack of education of what meditation actually is and what the practices are and how to develop your own path a little deeper. And continuing to only do asana again and again and again for your lifetime probably isn't going to get you any closer to this idea of liberation or even, help you be a calmer person. I've met a lot of people who just focus exclusively on asana, who are very easily triggered, who are very easily angered, who are quite superficial and egotistical, and all the things that you wouldn't think of when you think of a true yogi, right? And it's because there's no other work going on. There's no inward development, no looking within, no yamas and niyamas, no changing your lifestyle. You're just going to the yoga studio a few times a week or maybe even daily, and that's your spiritual practice. And I'm here to tell you, folks, it's not enough. It's not enough. So we need to investigate what comes next. That's what I'm doing. I'm happy to help people take that next step, get a little deeper in, understand what it takes and why we're doing it. And I always invite you to take a look at if there's resistance to that, why. This is part of the yogic path, is to self-assess and ask yourself these questions, because it doesn't matter to anyone but you. That's what this is for. It's not for your social media, image. It's not for your family. It's just for you, right? So just be honest with yourself. Take a look. Consider what is the resistance, if there is any, and then see if it's worth working through, or maybe talking to a therapist first, right? Because yoga won't fix all of your problems. It's the other mistake a lot of people make, is they get into this path thinking that they can fix themselves. And that's not what yoga is about either. That's what therapy is for. And therapy pairs very well with these meditation practices because things come up and it's our job to look at them and to understand them. But it's not your meditation teacher's job to help interpret that. It's your therapist, right? So I just wanted to plant that seed with y'all and kind of get you thinking about what comes next for you. And I'm happy to chat if you'd like.